Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition. It's Florida Talk Real Estate. We got you for the next 2 hours of infotainment. And thanks for being out there on the old terrestrial radio, 92.1, 101.7. I think that's all still working. Armageddon hasn't fully set in at this point. We have that free download. iHeartRadio app. That's worldwide, y'all. Yeah, that's kind of big time. I don't know if you realize this or not, but worldwide is a reach that's it's almost unprecedented. Almost. And of course, we live stream. There's cameras set up in studio. Yes, there are, pointing at some beautiful faces and one not so. You get to decide. That's your decision-making process right there. Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube. That's home of a ton of informational chunk videos. Consume away. Share and like. Thank you very much. And if you're with us out the gates, thanks for being there. If you're not, you can join at any time, even revisit after the fact. And of course, if you are with us, you can be a part of the program toll-free, interactive like. Choose your own adventure. 877-927-6969. If you do dial in, questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate, the first voice you'll hear, the melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire, my brother from another mother. There's Jimothy. What's up, my dude?
Hello, and good morning, Johnny. How are you today, bud?
Dude, I'm awesome, as always.
Nice.
It's great to see you.
Good to see you, too, as well.
It's good to be seen, and thanks for all that you do always.
Thank you very much.
Out the gates. Johnny C., that's me, your old buddy, your old pal, your air traffic control. Let's get the very important people on a Saturday, like Ross Komarinetz, who I don't know if I like to my left in the studio. It's very weird, but it's great to see you on a Saturday. Brightway Insurance Juno Bech brings us Ross Komarinetz on a Saturday. What's up, my dude?
Not a whole lot. Good morning. Yeah, usually I'm your right-hand man.
My right-hand man. Yeah. How you like it over there?
It's a little different. I like the chair better.
Okay.
You know, the chair's better.
Because we can switch that out. You're here. You here before Mike?
We usually get around the same time, and Jimmy already sets it up. And,
all right, but you can grease Jimmy a little and be like, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. You know,
swap
sitting in the chair again for another week.
Right.
I was thinking about he's going to get a little extra hundo
into the show, so we can fix it. But chair, all right, chair's easy fix. Everything else, like, kind of the same, or?
Yeah, it's good over here. It's kind of
all right. A little roomy.
Is it warmer?
Yeah. Is it warmer? That's the one thing it is not.
No, it's always just freezing in here.
Always. I wore long sleeves today.
You're smart.
A little bit smarter. I'm wearing shorts though. As I walked in, I'm like, "You're an idiot. You're still an idiot."
Ross gets out of his car and he puts his sweatshirt on. I got to get my outdoor attire on for the indoors.
Getting ready for this morning. What am I going to, wear on the radio so I look good on the radio? And it's like, dude, you just got to make sure you got your cold weather clothes.
Get a hoodie.
Yeah.
I was in the closet. I'm like, ooh, long sleeves, be smart. And I put shorts on because I'm still a dumbass.
As long as the upper body's warm, you'll be okay.
I guess I can.
You got to keep the core warm.
There is a blanket. That's right. That's key. Great to see you as always.
Yep.
And for the first time, like, in studio, we've picked up the phone before and been like, "What's up?" And I was trying to come up with some really cool, catchy. Team member just falls so flat. But we've talked with Chris Peters, and he's with Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations, like our fearless leader, Jimmy D. But Chris is in studio with us today. I don't like team member, man. Hold on a second. I don't hear you
on the spot.
There
here.
You are. Yeah, we do. And maybe our callers can be very creative.
Yeah.
They also can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
We got a new poll for the day, right? What's the best name?
Johnny and I do want it, but you don't want it.
That could be very dangerous as well.
We get final choice though.
That's right. We do get final say. But that's a delicate dance. But team member, it just falls flat to me. But we'll say pivotal cog in the machine that is. Good to have you in here with us, Chris.
Glad to be here.
Pleasure. And of course, Jimmy D runs that team with the pivotal cog. Jim DePola, our field.
Hey, everybody.
And as I've said it again, I'm like, ooh, I like it kind of.
That's close.
Here's the pivotal cog.
Pivotal cog. There you go.
Is it right? Pivotal cog?
What's a cog? I don't know. I got a different idea in my mind.
Yeah, me too. That's why I like it. That's why That's why we're there.
I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but
There's Jim DeBolo, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Hi.
I'm sorry.
No, what are you sorry about?
2 weeks ago, we were talking about bungholes.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 people after that show talked about bungholes to me. It's like, hey, I didn't know what that was. It's like,
That's the hole in a wine barrel.
yep,
right?
the hole in the wine. The hole in the wine.
I'm sensing a new weekly subject here. The word of the day is.
I know, right? Today
How
it's
big is your
cog.
I have a tiny cog, actually. Yeah, it's functional, though.
See, if Mike was here, he'd be looking it up for us right now. If Mike Rao was here from the mortgage firm, he'd be looking it all up and telling us what a cog is and
For
the
sure.
definition of cog.
That's his like desire to have the specifics on it, right?
Yep,
I
Mike-
love that part of his brain, though.
Yeah, Mike
Earthy
took
cog?
the day off.
What's that?
Girthy?
Oh, yeah.
I have the answer for you if you want it.
It's like a tuna can.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just taking care of something on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, what are you doing? Hitting start? Were we not live the whole
No,
time?
actually, there's people spamming me right now, so I'm just
Spamming
taking it
you?
out. Yeah,
Oh, boy.
that's not me. I'm sorry.
That is me. I'm not
It's a little crazy.
What do you mean, babe? Everything all right over there,
So-
Jimothy? I have a concerned look. Is it? Or are you researching?
No, I was just looking to see what Jim saw.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, good.
Nothing
So,
Okay, good.
nothing too bad.
so we have I think we have a really good show today. A big shoe. We get the big shoe,
Really big.
right? Nobody knows what that reference is anymore. I'm old.
Oh, I think there's.
Do you think people know Ed Sullivan?
Well, me and Jimothy both picked it up.
Yeah,
You get it,
that's
Chris?
stupid.
You got the Ed Sullivan?
I got it after he said Ed Sullivan. Yes.
After Ed Sullivan,
Right at the
right?
moment,
And I was like, oh, yeah, I think I remember that.
Ross, was it over you, or were you kind of there?
I remember the shoe part of it. I just didn't know where it had come from.
Yeah, so it's definitely.
didn't
It's,
remember that guy had no neck.
it's nothing I ever
Remember when
watched.
they would do the impressions, they'd always put their shoulders up real
That's
high.
it. Yeah, kind of big guy.
Yeah, 'cause
I
he
can
had no
picture
neck.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's definitely, it dates me, but I know the reference very well because I think the reference was made so much while I was growing up.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. I don't even know if I saw
like-
Ed Sullivan's show,
I'm
but
like,
I just know
early Gen X, you know,
pretty wild. So,
or
wait a
mid Gen
second.
X. When does Gen X start? Gen X starts in the 60s, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know. I
Gen
always-
X.
no.
69 through 80, is that Gen X?
no, baby. What's the one after Baby Boomer?
Gen X.
Gen X.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's 63, 64 because I'm right on the bubble.
Oh, so you're
I'm right.
You're a
I'm either a
boomer,
baby
a bubble
boomer. I'm
boomer?
like the youngest baby boomer or the earliest Gen X. Pick your poison.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a mid Xer then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. we have some really good stuff to talk about today.
Uh-huh.
We
Big show, as you noted.
I'm really happy that we have Ross here. We're going to talk about the continued savings that Ross is trying to do for all his customers. We're going to go through that, find out what's going on, and give some tips and tricks on how to save money. I'm going to ask Ross a bunch of questions as a consumer later and just see what he says about stuff. We got a couple of shout outs. We're going to do the creepy critters snakes. I rebuilt the snake thing. Oh, yeah, you weren't here last week. I promised we were going to talk about creepy critter snakes.
Yeah.
Poisonous snakes in Florida.
Oh, yeah?
And then I couldn't open up the link.
Remember, red and yellow.
We're
Don't
going
care
to talk
for it.
about that.
It
Don't,
will.
don't spoil
Red
it.
and yellow.
We're going to talk about
Don't
that.
spoil it. I'm
so
saving
cool.
lives, Jim.
Then we're also going to talk about interest rates and buyers. Interest rates are actually becoming news again a little bit. Don't want to scare anybody. We're not going through doom and gloom, but things aren't looking as stable as they were over the last 18 months. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about foreclosures. Chris is working with a really young couple, first-time home buyers. I always forget how to use the second syllable. Is it Liesel or
Liesel.
Liesel?
Liesel.
Liesel. Okay, I'm sorry. Liesel and Abbott. They're brand new first-time home buyers. They were looking at foreclosures because they wanted a deal. Who doesn't?
Sure.
And they were the question that they were asking is how much money lower can you get on a list price on a foreclosure compared to a regular home? So I thought we'd go through that a little bit today and open up the MLS
Okay.
and see what's going on there.
Excellent.
There's a lot of perceptions about what people think happens with the REOs, and we're going to find out if that's the reality or not. We're going to talk about that too.
Good.
And then if we have enough time, and I'd really hope we do get to squeeze this in, is how affordable is Florida for housing? Right? Everybody talks about how unaffordable Florida is, for housing, and we've seen a lot of people move. There is a migration out of at least the coastal areas to the central part of the state, or totally out of state. Bye, Florida.
I think it depends on whether you're talking about being a homeowner or a renter.
Homeowner.
Okay, because as a renter, we are atrocious.
Yeah, I know we're the worst in the whole
We
country.
are
We're
bad,
number one.
but as a
no, we're
homeowner-
number one.
Oh, well, I guess yeah, perspective,
number
right?
one.
We are number one.
Yeah, so we're bad.
Yeah.
The number one's the bad part.
The worst.
So we're number one.
Yeah. I think homeownership. I think I'll be interested to see what our numbers are.
It is kind of interesting because it really puts some things into perspective.
Well, and it pushes, what a major narrative you've had for years on this show now is if you can, you got to buy.
Mhm.
I remember the conversation you had with me
Yep.
many years ago. You
Mhm.
better buy a house.
Sure. So let's start off with the shout outs first. We've got Stephanie and Doug. By the way, Johnny, I missed you so much last week. I forgot to say that.
Why? What happened?
I don't know. I just didn't feel like being Jimmy D.
Oh,
It was nice it's so nice when you're back in. I don't have to
Thank you.
think as much.
it's well, it's nice.
Too much thinking in your seat.
It's nice to be missed.
You didn't miss me?
Oh, I missed you, Ross.
I always miss you, Rob.
You weren't even here to miss me.
But I did. That's why I
You
missed
just
you.
missed me in
Was it
general?
here? Was
Yeah.
it here?
Oh,
Were you not here?
Yeah.
Oh,
so I know you went to Rockville.
no, he didn't miss you. How about that?
I know you went to Rockville and the Daytona Speedway. Me and Rob did that once,
You went to,
where we camped in the middle of the track.
for Speed Week or something?
It was either the 75th or 80th anniversary for Daytona 500.
Sweet.
I don't know if it was the 75th or 80th. I don't remember.
Did you do the whole Speed Week? That's a
We
bucket
did
list
like
for me.
3 days, and Rob forced me because I'm not a big Motorhead guy. I didn't
I'm
really.
not either, and I
I-
would love to do that.
I
though.
didn't appreciate it until I actually went there and then watched it live, and then I see why people like it so much.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very cool.
yeah, it is. It is.
And even just being in the track, like, again, not the biggest race fan. I'm not. I have a little bit of interest in NASCAR, and that started when I started dating my wife because
Mhm.
she's a fan.
Oh,
You know,
she
so-
is.
Yeah, so you have to pick a driver, So, but we pay attention. Like, it's not like we have to watch every race, but we pay attention a little bit. Racing's been interesting over the last 10 years for sure.
Mhm.
But being in that track, even if you're not a fan, as you were just noting, is amazing. It's cool. It is so cool.
Do it
I know
once.
that-
Even if you're not a fan, do it once.
Do it.
Yeah, you should do it. It's an experience you should do at least
But
one
if you
time.
do the tour and you get to walk the track, that's
Yeah.
when you're really like, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
When you walk those banks.
Mhm.
Good
Yeah.
God.
I did the drive around one time.
Nice.
No, I didn't drive. I was just a passenger because that's a lot more expensive if you want to do the actual driving experience. Like Richard Petty has the class, and I think Rusty Wallace had a school for it too. But you can just do a ride around, and even that alone is pretty cool.
I bet.
Yeah.
It's amazing how you would think that the G-force would take you out, but it actually,
Sucks
because
you
of the
down.
banking, actually draws you to the left,
Huh.
and it's not something that your mind expects, or at least not mine.
I wouldn't
anyway.
think it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's pretty fun. You're only doing 140 or 150, which is
Only.
nothing on that track.
Only.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you got to remember, those guys are limited to 200.
Yeah.
I mean, and those cars are, obviously throttled down so that they can't go as fast as they really can.
So they don't die, basically.
Well, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what do you think they'd be doing now? I mean, Elliott, Bill Elliott made the record at Talladega at what, 213?
Yeah, I
Could you
can't.
imagine what they'd be doing nowadays
Yeah.
with fuel injection? And anyway,
I can't imagine
getting
what
off
they.
on that.
Getting a little
sorry
dorky.
about that.
That's your fault, Jim.
Anyway, back to you, Jim. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah. The thing I was surprised about being on the track, and it makes sense, and you just don't expect it if you're not a race car person, is how loud it was. It was crazy
Oh, sure.
how loud. And the other thing, the parties at night, like in the middle of that track, they have so many just open parties everywhere. It was pretty crazy. It was
Yes.
fun.
So as people talk, just to kind of tie on to what you were saying from me being there last week, people are like, so after the concert, it's just things are over. It's like, oh no, that's when kind of the party begins. I mean, more times than not, you see the sun go down more times than not when you're there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
Go
true.
down and then come up.
Yeah, you missed that. Or excuse me, so go down. I meant come up. Yes, for sure. I'm still recovering. Yeah, you see it starting to come up. You're like, we got to go to sleep. The concert starts in 6 more hours.
Now, that's a multi-day event, correct?
It's 5 if you camp, 4 if you just choose to be a concert attender.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so I wanted to
Shout-outs.
get back to the
Yeah.
shout outs again. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Daytona Beach.
Yep. Shout out to Daytona Beach. Congratulations to Stephanie. I'm sorry. I'm looking into our YouTube and Facebook has 0 people. We were up to like a decent amount and it just disappeared. So
Might have been the
what's going
NASCAR
on.
talk.
So it's probably NASCAR talk. Yeah, probably. Stephanie and Doug, congratulations. They moved into their new home on Monday. I was so happy for them. At the very end, it got a little crazy for the closing part, but we made it happen. So it worked out really well. Really happy for Stephanie and Doug. It was one of the 3 people last week, Johnny. We talked about how our last 3 buyers, we were able to raise so much money between seller concessions and down payment and lender credits from Mike from the Smart Start and all that, that all 3 of the customers, might have been 4. Well, 3 for me and 4 for Mike, because Mike did one with, not involved with me. And we had too much money. There was too much money to pay for the down payment and closing costs. So Mike had to be really creative and figure out a way to use all the money.
Those are the best problems.
Yeah, isn't
They really
that cool?
are. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it was hard finding the home for Doug and Stephanie. That part was very difficult. We must have looked at 25, 30 houses before we got them under contract.
Oh, that
They
is
put in a couple offers and got it turned down. But
so they were getting a little down on the process, I'm sure.
they were,
Yeah.
but they were totally dogged and they just didn't want to give up. And, they were definitely wanted to do this. So,
Oh, and I know you believed. You're like, your home's out there.
Oh
And
yeah,
we
I know.
will
It's
find
like,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
If you work with us, unless something crazy happens, you're closing,
We'll find
right?
it.
Yeah, we're gonna make it work for you. So really happy for them. Stephanie is a teacher, so that really matters a lot to me. Thank you for your service. I almost feel it's like that, teachers,
Really, though.
because of all the issues in the school system and how they get paid and everything. So I'm really, really happy for them and congratulations. Very in a very interesting case. I helped them buy a home I think it was 20. I don't even know how long ago it was, but it might have been pre-COVID and maybe even longer than that. It might have been much longer than that. And we helped them buy a house in downtown North Lake Worthish, East South West Palm. And a developer went in and bought the whole street to start a development down there. So they were bought out like 3 or 4 years ago. They were paid a very high sum for their house.
Yeah.
And then they got to live there basically for free or very discounted rent for 3 years before they needed to tear the house down. So they did pretty well financially on that.
Yeah.
And then it was time. Then the bad part was they were living there. Everything was going great. They had this cheap rent. And then all of a sudden the developer called up. Was like, you got 30 days to leave.
Oh,
And
wow.
they're like, what?
Everything went from amazing to like now you're
Now you're in sheer terror, right?
Yeah.
Now you're in sheer terror. So we had to do it really, really fast, and we got it done for them, and they're very, very happy when we gave them the keys to the house on Monday. So I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Another Florida Talk Real Estate success story.
Excellent.
And also wanted to do a shout out to Michael and Mariella. I just met them Wednesday. It's such a blur. It could have been Thursday, but I met them Wednesday or Thursday. I met them at their house. They're seller buyers. We're not going to talk about this week, Chris, because I don't think we have enough time.
It's fine.
But we might talk about seller buyers next week. But they're seller buyers. You know how I say seller buyers? I say it fast, seller buyer, because they need the money from the sale of the house to buy the new house. And we don't want them renting if they don't have to,
Mhm.
because it costs you a lot of money to do that, a lot of extra expenses for that transition period.
I'm a seller buyer.
Yes, you're going to be a seller buyer.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is with Michael and Mariella, and this is very common. Chris and I just met with a couple yesterday that's trying to become a seller buyer, and both had the same experience. When we showed them what they were going to be able to sell their house for and showed what the seller net sheet is, which is what you will get after the house is sold, after all the costs are taken care of, no hidden costs, right? You know exactly what you get in your pocket. They were a little shocked that what the list price was to, or the sale price was going to be to what they were actually going to get in their pocket was going to be significantly different because they don't understand about documentary stamp tax and all the other fees that people don't know about, prorated taxes, all these extra fees that are in there. And they were a little surprised. And this is very common with seller buyers. So we calculated everything for them that day. And now what we're going to be doing is looking for where they're going to move to next. And we're not going to put the house on the market, even though I took the listing already, until we figure out where they actually want to live and what region they want to live. They're looking a little bit on the West Coast. They're looking a little bit north, like St. Lucie, maybe in Indian River County. So we got to figure all that out. And we don't want to put the house on the market. They have to stage it a little bit too. But you don't want to put the house on the market until they have a clear idea of where they want to live geographically.
Sure.
And then we can narrow it down. Then we can turn on all the lights and get the thing going, turn on the engines, rev it up, and get this property moved.
Right.
So really excited to help them.
That is exciting.
Yeah, we specialize in seller buyers. And let me tell you, there's a lot of moving parts when you're selling a house and buying a house. And the biggest problem that people have is that chicken and the egg experience. How am I going to put my house on the market if I don't know where I'm going to move to? And if some people decide that they're going to try to beat the system by trying to find the house first, a lot of them find out that the seller won't take their offer until at least their house is on the market, at least,
Right.
and usually not until it's under contract. So we have ways to deal with all those situations to get it all smoothed out and worked out for people. So I'm really excited about that.
And over the years, I'm trying to think of who've ever been made homeless in the seller buyer scenario. And I think there was one like silver lining story of somebody being homeless for a minute, but it was amazing for them. And I can't remember the details.
Well, the person sitting to my left right now was one of the people I made homeless. Chris used to be.
Did you make Chris
I
homeless?
made Chris homeless.
Oh, I'm
Chris
bringing up
used
such
to-
amazing memories for him right now.
When I forgot that I made him
I
homeless
prefer
until last
housing
week. And
challenge.
Chris graciously reminded me that I made him homeless. Chris
Residential
used to be
challenge.
a former customer of mine, and I don't even remember. You told me this before, Chris. How did we meet again?
You had a listing of a house for sale in Lantana. I was looking at
That's
a
right,
house
I
in that
forgot.
area. It was a nice little pool home, and I called the sign, and that's how I got connected with Jim.
Really?
That's how we started.
Yeah.
So then I found out he was the seller buyer because he was just looking, right? He was just the buyer side at first. And I heard he had a seller. He's like, hey, I could do both things for you. So he hired me. Thank you, Chris.
You're like, come on, man. I'll make
And
you
then
homeless. What do you
We
say?
sold a house in Hallandale. We sold his house in Hallandale, helped him buy a house up here. It was not Lantana, right? But Chris, how did I make you homeless again?
I don't know that it was your fault necessarily. I mean, I was probably being overly picky and fussy about the house I wanted to buy, and I tried to buy, I don't know, 4 houses, I think, and they all fell through for one reason or another, and so I was only homeless for a couple weeks. It's not a big deal.
Not terrible.
Yeah,
I survived. It's okay.
That's
there
good.
was somebody
Also
else who
as well.
said I made him homeless. Oh,
Greg and Diane.
Greg
for
and
30
Diane.
minutes.
Yeah, Greg and Diane. I'm going to be meeting with them for dinner today. Hey, Greg. Hey, Diane. I made them home. How much? Like
It was
30
like, it
minutes?
was like 30 minutes. they
Yeah, I
joked
made them
about,
homeless
yeah.
for 30 minutes.
And that might be the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
But
Was that within the last couple of years?
that
It was about a
probably
year ago.
2 years ago. Or
No, it was about a year ago.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh
A
my
little
God,
over.
it feels like so long
Okay,
ago.
that's probably the one I'm thinking of. But aside from that, you're a pretty good record over the years of this is a delicate dance, but you've pulled it off a lot.
You know how I came up with that system is I came up with it, the wholesaler buyer experience, is because when we were doing short sales, Johnny, and the big problem with the sellers that they had when they were doing a short sale was they never knew when the bank was going to respond to the offer that was turned in. And sometimes it took 9 months
Ugh,
from the time you turned in the offer till they gave you a response.
hurry up and wait.
So then once they gave you the response and they said yes, they're like, get the heck out of the house. Like,
Jeez.
get out of here right away. It's like, we've been waiting for you for 9 months. Now you're going to make us homeless.
Right.
So I wasn't really involved with a lot of the buy side during that time. I was more focused on just the sales, to get them out of the trouble,
Sure.
get the debt wiped out and all that. Hopefully relocation assistance back then.
Uh-huh.
But them finding a place to live, that was kind of on them because we just never talked about it and they never said they needed my help. And I just was newer at that point and
Right.
didn't think about it. And then I started watching all the headaches the aggravation, the disappointment, and also the money that they were spending to solve that problem. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So then I just started putting little systems together on how to do everything, like calculating seller net sheets and figure out what your budget is before. And I also learned that a lot of times when people are selling and buying, that you really got to focus on the back end. And when I call the back end, that means where they're going to move afterwards. If
Jimmy's always paying attention to the back.
Oh yeah.
So if you could do,
it's actually my focus.
so if you could do that, if you could figure out and give them a clear picture of where they're moving to and how that's going to look, then the sale of the house usually kind of falls into place to match that need.
Sure.
But when you don't know where you're going to live, you're kind of like all over. Like if you don't have a plan or a budget, you're kind of all over the place.
Gotta have a plan.
Anybody thinking of selling a buyer is like, hey, I'm good thinking about doing that, and I'm stuck with all that stuff too. All you got to do is give us a call.
FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. There's a hotline. You call it if you like. Maybe you're old school like that. You're just like, you know what? I like picking up the phone. 888-973-7828. You'll find it at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Remember, on Facebook and YouTube, share, comment, like, do all that. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Also, one last shout out to Mariella from Michael and Mariella from our meeting this week. Mariella is the typical spouse that does not listen to Real Radio. And the other spouse is a fanatic about Real Radio.
Oh, boy.
And that's why they invite me to come to their house to sell the house.
So you got to win over.
Yeah. So Mariella was like, didn't know who I was. She actually asked her husband, why are you bringing this guy? Why don't we do this traditional way where we ask our neighbors who's a good realtor or something like that? And what Michael told Mariella is, just give the guy 2 hours. He's going to answer all your questions. I promise it. This before we even met. And he's already telling him, I promise you everything. Jim's going to answer any question that you have. So she confided that to me at the end of the meeting when we signed the listing agreement. And I said, so did I answer? You didn't ask me hardly any questions. And she goes, because you answered them all.
Nice.
So that was kind of cool. Excellent. So she felt very comfortable when we left that we're the team to do the deal for her. So
that's man, how many times have I said just vet the team? Like, even I don't care if the decision is that's we're going a different route. At least you're going through the process of choosing the right people. More times than not, you're going to pick the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Want to talk just really quick before the break about creepy critters. I don't know why I'm obsessed with this, but I'm totally obsessed, so we're going to talk about it. Hold on.
It's definitely a Florida thing.
Yeah. Well, actually,
it's exponentially worse here in Florida.
Well, you think the creepy critters? What do I say about Florida, where the fish walk across the street and the cockroaches fly? That's my favorite way to describe Florida, right? Those palmetto bugs, when we first came down, that scared my mom so much. Anytime that there were palmetto bugs around, they were flying all over the place. And they're noisy.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
You're like,
yeah, it's like
a chopper.
It is. It's like,
I remember as a kid, they're like, yeah, palmetto bug. I'm like, it's roach. They're like, yeah,
Right,
palmetto
exactly.
bug. I'm like, they're known as cockroaches. It's a palmetto bug. I'm like, gosh, what are we doing? That's a cockroach.
I know, it's total cockroach, but then when it flies, it's like, oh, palmetto bug.
Look at that.
Now I get it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about snakes in Florida. So there are 44 species of snakes in Florida, right?
Is that 44. A lot? I feel like that's not a lot.
I don't know, but I just thought that I can't name 44 in my head. And I used to love collecting snakes when I was a kid down
True
here.
story. The one you want to watch out for is the water moccasin.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Man, that one is ornery as hell. You know what I'm saying, Ross?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't go anywhere near fresh water.
Oh my gosh, those things will go after you.
Is because you're worried about moccasins, or are you just joking around?
Moccasins, gators.
Oh, the gators. Yeah, the gators. Yeah.
Like everything in fresh
Yeah,
water.
fresh water. I think there's swamp monsters too.
Yep. And don't forget the skunk ape.
Skunk ape.
There's skunk apes in the
They're
swamp.
not going to talk about skunk ape in this article.
Now you got
No, they're not.
pythons.
Yeah.
Around
Yeah,
freshwater
the pythons.
area.
That was a big shock for me moving here to Florida. Because I'm a Minnesota boy. Like, you live in the freshwater lakes there in the summertime, and we don't have water moccasins and gators and none of that stuff. So you move here, and it's like, stay away from the freshwater.
Careful.
Like, oh, Oh, okay.
Why would I do that? Yeah, and there's like brain-eating amoebas, things like that.
Crazy. Yeah.
I grew up in Cali. We didn't worry. You saw a body of water, you dove in it.
Yeah,
You had
exactly.
No concerns. Yeah. Whether it was tainted, like you just, I'll drink it.
It's fine. There's nothing to harm me there.
Instead, go in the saltwater with all the sharks.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
That makes more sense. Than
We are the
freshwater.
shark capital of the world. It's safer
Right,
over
right.
there. Yep.
Yes, we are. So for the snakes, we have the world's fastest snake in Florida, and
The
I
racer?
didn't know this was the world fast. The black racer
Have you
is the
seen them
world's
go?
fastest snake.
Is
I
it
did not
really?
know it.
Have
Yep.
you seen
Oh,
them
that's
go?
pretty cool.
Those
Mhm.
things boogie.
Yeah, they haul.
Yeah.
I've caught them myself, and
Good
when
for
I was
you.
a young kid, but they haul.
They do.
And then it's funny that I was laughing when you guys brought up water moccasins. They have a whole thing about water moccasin myths. Many people see a snake in Florida Canal and assume it's a venomous cottonmouth water moccasin. Here's the fact. Most of the time, it's actually a harmless banded water snake. So I guess banded water snakes look like adult water moccasins. You could tell by the swimming style. Cottonmouths, oh, I'm sorry, we're talking about cottonmouth. Yeah, it says water moccasin is.
Same thing.
So the cottonmouth water moccasin, you can tell the difference between the banded water snake and the water moccasins, the way they swim. Cottonmouths usually use their entire body and are on top of the water, like a cork, whereas the harmless water snakes usually swim with only their head above the water. So when you see the whole body up there, you can see the whole body while they're swimming.
Run from that.
That's
Get
what
out
you
of
should do.
Dodge.
It's
Yeah.
coming for you.
Yeah.
I'm not
chase you.
paying attention to how it's swimming. If it's swimming and it's a snake, I'm nowhere near.
Oh, you're very afraid of snakes.
Doesn't
Huh?
matter.
You have a big fear of snakes.
I mean, not if it's just around, but if I'm in like water and it's swimming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at me.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I do have a fear of swimming snakes. Absolutely.
They're fast. I mean, you think they're fast on the ground.
Yeah.
They're even faster in the
That's
water.
the thing. They're faster than me. I don't like them.
And they have no fins. How do they do that?
So there's six venomous snakes, and there's 6 venomous snakes out of the 44, right? And out of that, 3 of them are rattlesnakes. So we have the eastern diamond rattlebacks,
Beautiful snakes.
rattlesnake, the eastern diamondback. We
They
have
get
that.
huge too.
They're big,
Yes.
yeah, and they can jump far when they go to bite you, like 12 feet or something.
They're gorgeous though.
Yep.
Man, they are.
Never heard of this one, the timber rattlesnake. It's primarily in North Florida, like near the Panhandle of Central Florida,
Considerably smaller.
and they prefer wooded areas.
Yes.
What are you, an expert on snakes, Johnny?
Not an expert on
But a
snakes, but I know
herpetologist?
the ones that can mess you up.
Yeah. And then they have the dusky pygmy snake, rattlesnake, the dusky pygmy, which is a little tiny one.
Well,
It's
so I
usually
think
under 2 feet.
the pygmy might be the one I was thinking of when you said the tinder, but the tinder is considerably smaller than the eastern too. The
Yeah.
easterns are huge.
Yeah. And then, of course, the coral snake's over here. And that's my favorite snake, only because when I moved down here, I think I was in the 6th grade or something, I used to go snake collecting all the time, right? I'd go out and try to collect as many snakes as I could, and I would bring them home and put in my little aquarium. And one time I picked up this little baby snake. It couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 inches. It was, and it had a little yellow ring around its neck, and it was black. And all you saw was black and a little yellow ring. And I put it in my cage. And then what I'd always do is open up my snake book and try to find out what I caught. And then I realized what I caught was a coral snake. And coral snakes can be poisonous.
They can.
So I freaked out. So I ran back to the cage because I didn't want my parents to tell my parents I put in a poisonous snake in the house. And I went to the cage, and the snake was gone. Oh my God, that was so bad. And we were moving. We were in the process of moving. So we had all these boxes like packed up, ready to move. And I couldn't find the snake. And it's like, so I didn't know what to do. It's like, I didn't want to tell my parents that I brought in a poisonous snake. I found out later. So what happens is coral snakes look exactly like a baby king snake until it gets older, when it turns into those colors. What
Yeah.
did you say, John?
Oh, you need to avoid the red touching the yellow.
Yeah,
Yes.
red against yellow will kill a fellow.
Yeah, because they look like the king.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but when they're baby, you can't hardly tell the difference. The only thing good I found out, we never found the snake. Terrified that it went in one of the boxes and that we took it with us. I was afraid that we are going to be a packet of boxes. The next thing, the snake would bite somebody. But it was so young. I found out later it was so young that, and coral snakes, they have to gnaw on you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a rattlesnake bite.
They don't have fangs.
Yeah, they don't have fangs. They have to gnaw on you. You have to be pretty stupid to get in trouble with the
It
coral
would be
snake.
very unfortunate. Yeah.
So anyway, that's our creepy critters in Florida. 44 snakes, 6 of them are poisonous, 3 are rattlesnakes. Welcome to Florida. So let's go ahead and take a really quick break. On the flip side, let's talk about insurance. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about tips and tricks to save money on insurance. Just keep talking about this trend. We're going to talk about Ross and how far he is on his savings of $500,000 goal. He's trying to save $500,000 for all the customers that call him this year. And we're going to find out where he is at that point, and we're going to find out. So if you're thinking about trying to save money on insurance, including auto, we're going to find out about that in just a little bit.
Beautiful. Lots to get into. Plenty of time remaining. You're always welcome to join us toll free at 877-927-6969. It is the 16th of May.
Yes, it is.
On a beautiful Saturday here in South Florida. If you have questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate, you want to bring something to the table, don't be shy. Of course, if you are a little bit more on the shy side, I understand. I'm very uncomfortable on the radio as well. You can always go to floridatalkrealestate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives. Buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. You need professional guidance. You might know somebody or a few people in the field, but they might not be great at what they do. I know people that are great at what they do, and I have a collection right here for you, a team that works seamlessly together. It's floridatalkrealestate.com. It's who I recommend to my friends and family. It's who I use on the regular. Ross and his team have saved my family some money recently. We're part of that collection of savings that he's trying to reach a goal. Look, if you're in the process, if you're thinking anything that touches the world of real estate, write it down. Know it, use it, love it, share it. It's floridatalkrealestate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
We'll be your friend. Follow us at Real Radio 92.1 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. We're expecting a pleasant Saturday. Temperatures getting into the middle 80s, which is right where we should be for this time of year. A few isolated showers west of 95 this afternoon. Overall, though, conditions remain dry. It is humid, and humidity and heat will be increasing Sunday.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbeatable deals on both. Mattress Firm. They make sleep easy.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, Not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, you can do it if you'd like. 877-927-6969. I'm talking about making a phone call into a radio show on a Saturday. Of course, you can really do what you like. As long as you don't hurt anybody, I really don't care. But if you have questions, comments, concerns on the world of real estate, don't be shy. We got pros to handle so much more. Like Jimothy, he's pro over there. He's our producer extraordinary. He's lining up phone calls.
Hello, and good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, my dude. Is that a going on the air call right there?
I believe it is, yeah. I'm going to finish screening it as soon as we get done with our little introduction.
Oh, man. Appreciate you very much. Johnny C., that's me, your old buddy, your old pal. Ross Komarinetz is with us on a Saturday. He's with Brightway Insurance Juno Bech. What's up, Ross?
Not a whole lot. Good to be here.
Doing all right?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Still.
The pivotal cog, as he's been known for the last 42 minutes. We were introducing Chris Peterson with the Florida Home Pros team as a team member, and I was like, it's just not good enough. How you starting to settle in on pivotal cog?
You know, I'm working with it right now. Sounds good.
Is it fit so far?
There's opportunity for improvement.
So that's a plan that can't change is a bad plan. And right now, this plan is we're working with it a little bit. It's good to have you with us on this.
Glad to be here.
Business cards are being printed right now.
Yeah,
beautiful.
The pivotal cog.
The cog. Is pivotal in quotations?
I think it needs to be, considering what a cog is.
You ever sent somebody a cog pick?
I have found in my experience, limited, that it is. Lighting and backdrop is very important.
Oh, that's funny.
Very important. It can actually change perspective completely. Lead to very much disappointment too.
Okay.
And lead to much loftier expectations than you should be dealing with. Yeah, I'm always about lowering expectations. That way it's easier to meet the expectation. Anything you do above and beyond is like, whew, it's like the line at Disneyland. They're like 70 minutes. When you hit it at 40, you're like, we won. Winning. Right?
That's so funny.
That's what I'm talking about. Jimmy D's over there. That's Jim DePola with the Florida Home Pros team. Keller Williams Innovations. He's the boss of the pivotal cog.
Well, I just pretended
That's a top producing team, by the way.
I just pretended I was Mike while you guys were talking. I wrote into Gemini AI, what is a cog? And it says, because it looks like a typo, the meaning depends entirely on what you were thinking about when you typed it. Here are three of the most likely options. Did you mean Corgi, the dog? Right? And then it says, did you mean COGS, caps, all caps, which is cost of goods sold, a business term? Or do you mean literal cog? And then it says in parentheses, the mechanical part. And a cog is a wheel with teeth on it.
It's like a gear.
Yeah.
It's the tooth
It's
of
a
the gear.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. So a pivotal cog is that one that's like it's the most important.
Well, it's the least important when you call somebody a cog because it says people always use the phrase cog in the machine to describe someone who feels like a small, unimportant part of a massive organization.
That's why I
Pivotal.
said pivotal.
No, but it's small but important part of a larger system.
No, mine says feels like a small, unimportant part of a massive organization.
Oh, wow. Okay. All
And
right.
yours says small but important?
But important. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
Jimmy's search.
Yeah.
Your search.
Yeah. So cog isn't going to work. I don't like cog anymore.
No more cogs.
No,
for
no,
anybody.
no
Hey,
cog. No
hey,
cog.
keep
Not
the
for
cog
Chris.
out of the show.
Yeah.
Chris, I'll never do it again. Apologize. I did not make you feel. My intention was not to make you feel small and unimportant.
Yeah, we don't want you to feel small and important. So, I wanted to talk about insurance because it's always great when Ross is here, and there's so much savings to be had for so many people.
Do you want to take a phone call real quick?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
I mean,
I
maybe,
forgot.
maybe.
Actually, not to preempt Ross at all, but I think we should go to Mark first because he wants to talk about snakes.
Oh, okay.
Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mark,
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What's up, Mark?
are you a herpetologist or are you a python hunter?
No. I'm just an environmental guy.
Oh, okay,
But,
cool.
did you happen to look up ringneck snake when you were doing your search on what that was?
Ringneck.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a ringneck, not an indigo. I thought it was not a king snake. I thought it was a ringneck. And doesn't the ringneck look like the coral snake when it's a baby?
I've never seen a baby coral snake, so I'd have to look that up. But I've seen many ringnecks. It sounded to me like what you were describing was a
That's
ringneck.
what I thought I had. I thought now that you bring it back because I was in the 6th grade when this happened.
Black
It was
with a yellow
it was a ringneck for sure. That's what I thought I picked up like when I caught it because I knew a little bit about snakes. So I was like, oh, I found a ringneck. Then when I brought it home and started reading about it, I can't remember how you determined it wasn't a coral snake. I think it was something to do with the belly. That when you looked at the belly,
probably had to rub his belly.
That'll do it.
But I was right though. If it was a coral snake and it was a baby, it really wasn't going to hurt anybody, right?
No, it's like you said, they've got to bite you and bite down and gnaw on you, or it's a different concern than having a rattlesnake strike. I'm out in the woods hiking right now, and we don't want them rattlesnake to become aggressive and come after you.
No, that's definitely something you don't want. I guess there's a big problem going on, right? Like a huge uptake in rattlesnake bites out in California this year.
Oh, I didn't hear about
Yeah,
that.
like a pretty big pop in them for some reason. And I don't know if it's just people being out more often, maybe, or just unfortunately the snake population is booming up.
Or they're just cranky. Maybe rattlesnakes got cranky for some reason.
It's probably all the fires, all their protection has been
habitats.
Could be
taken care of, so they're more exposed.
Yeah,
Probably habitat
Yep.
destruction happen up here in St. Lucie County. But I appreciate going back to real estate. I appreciate you guys having the show and been listening since back probably early 2000s with the Love Doctors originally.
excellent.
But it's excellent service you guys are doing.
Thank you so much, Mark. Enjoy the day. It's a beautiful day out. I hope
It
you
is.
enjoy.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh,
And
yeah.
thanks for the support overall.
That's
Yeah.
the plan.
And don't get bit by any rattlesnakes while you're out there.
Also, good plan. Yes.
No. I take my strip now.
Here we go. Beat him with this thing.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man.
I used to get mocked from my walking stick, and you have to make some noise when you're walking.
Yeah.
I bang that stick like every other step, and it's just to let all the critters know we're coming.
Mhm.
The
Sure.
snakes usually respond to quick threat, like they didn't know you were coming up on them, right?
Yeah.
You let them know they're coming. They don't want anything to do with you.
I agree with you. Most of them are just going to run away, or slither away.
Yeah, get the hell away from me.
Not
In the
run
mountains,
away.
a lot of times people will walk with like a bell on them. Or
That's
like hiking when they're going like hiking trails in the mountains.
Huh.
They'll hike with a bell.
a little like, hey, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, something's coming your way.
Yeah.
Is that for like more
Mountain
like
lions,
lions,
and
cougars, yeah.
bears.
Mm,
Yeah.
Oh my.
So Ross, how high is the thermometer now?
We're at 180.
You're at 180?
180, yeah.
So
Little
let me
behind,
see.
But
So we're a little bit behind. So we need help from our audience to help Ross help you.
it was a lofty goal, but we still want to hit it.
Yeah,
The goal
we
is-
got time.
The goal is to save customers $500,000 on their insurance this year, automobile, property insurance, like anything you can
Anything
do for
that
them.
we can touch.
And we're at 180 so far, and it's May 16th.
Yeah.
It's so doable.
It
It just
is.
tells me people are being
We need
lazy.
to do
Why are you not-
70,000 before June 30th.
Why are you
That
not,
way we'll be on track.
Why are you not looking to see if you
Why
can
wouldn't
save
you
money?
do that?
It's just pure lazy.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be a dick.
It's so easy.
It is so easy. It is so easy. I just don't have money to waste like that.
Yeah, right.
I'm glad
Exactly.
you do. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to send Jim my email address in an email and give him my address. That's too hard,
I don't get it.
right?
Or just
And
text a copy of your declarations page. That's
It's
it.
that
I don't
simple.
care if you cross out the premium. We don't even know what we're saving you. We're just going to give you our best rate.
yeah,
You know, and then you can tell me if we saved you money or not.
Yeah.
and the savings are real. Could you
They are
just
real.
give a couple of examples that made you feel good when people called and reached out? I know it's hard because you're looking at so many, but do you have like some examples that might pop up in your mind?
I can tell you mine.
Okay,
I
that
went from partial water coverage, like it was, what is it, half? What was it? It was, give me the verbiage.
Limited water damage,
you.
and it's capped at 10,000.
right.
And I saved it was almost $1,000, and now I'm fully
And he's got
covered on
full water damage.
right.
coverage.
So I actually got better coverage for less money.
For $80 a month less.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
saves you
and
80
that's real.
bucks a
That's real
month.
dollars in my
Yeah.
pocket. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
was as easy. I literally, he goes, I was like, "Is everything good?" He's like, "Well, you got to send me the back page of your deck real quick." So I just took a picture of the back page and hit send on the text. He's like, "Yeah, we're actually better now." Yeah, you're because they didn't send him all the information, but
Right.
he just needs it real quick. And here's your. He doesn't know if he's saving you money necessarily, unless he
Right.
already has
He's
your
just
policy.
giving you
right?
the quote.
Here's the quotes. And the reality is I'm gonna guess I don't get to see as many as Ross does, but they're probably coming in. If you haven't shopped it in a while, they're probably coming in lower than what you're paying now.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some pretty big savings. You know, I've seen we've saved somebody $6,000.
Oh,
Wow.
You know?
500 a month.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
goodness.
500 a month.
Oh, what I could do with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the savings are out there, whether it's homeowners insurance or especially auto insurance right now.
Why is auto insurance getting cheaper? For the same reason as homeowners insurance? They're cracking down on fraud? Is it a fraud
Yeah, I mean,
thing?
it was mostly, that not fraud, but, the litigation part of it.
Mhm.
The auto carriers, they went through a period where they said, hey, we only want people with high limits, like that's our preferred customer, somebody with high limits. And then those people with high limits got into little fender benders, and the other side's attorneys got a hold of their policy and said, hey, look at those high limits that we can
Ooh,
sue.
Nice.
Ah,
And so they experienced a lot of lawsuits that way.
Mhm.
And so a lot of those carriers that went from only offering those high limits said, we're not going to offer those high limits anymore. But now they're back kind of the same way the homeowners, underwriting and profitability has come back. The auto insurance is the same way, and they're all competing.
that's really interesting. Here's a question for you, Ross. I'm just going to pick your brain for a bunch of stuff, right? We got the brainiac here who knows all things insurance. What happens if you live in a townhome or a condo where the community is paying for the roof and the exterior, and you're only paying for contents and, drywall in, if you will? Is there still huge savings for them, or is it mostly single family home people are getting the big savings right now?
No, we're doing a lot of savings on what those are called HO6 policies,
Mhm.
where the association, there's a master association that has a master insurance policy that covers the exterior, and you're only responsible for insuring the interior portion of that building. Back in probably December, we had a company open back up that hadn't really written a new piece of business in about 5 years, and they're super competitive on that type of policy.
Mhm.
So we're seeing a lot of savings if we're able to get them over there.
So it's not just single family, everybody. It's
No.
anything. Give us a call.
Any property and casualty insurance right now, the rates are getting better.
Yeah.
And the carriers, whether it's auto insurance or homeowners insurance, the underwriting's getting a little bit more lenient, and couple that with the rates coming down, there's opportunity for savings.
So a few months ago, we actually hit a threshold where we weren't the most expensive state for insurance, which we have been for a very long time, and everybody was going nuts. And then Denver and Nebraska beat us out.
Colorado's going up, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
and but now we're number one again. And but we're not by much. But we're still higher, than the rest of the nation. But we're seeing, for example, State Farm, according to the report I read, State Farm just filed for a 10.1% rate cut. Florida Peninsula, 8.2% rate cut. No,
I had a company that they cut their rates in Palm Beach County by 30%.
Wow, 30%.
But so that's an awesome number to hear. But if they raised it 50%, right? They're only dropping it down to kind of where it was. But
that's good news. They had to raise their rates.
Right.
Had to whatever, stay in business. And they were still, it's not like they weren't writing policies. They were still writing policies.
It's still it's a huge number. That is remarkable. What a big chunk at once. They're like, we're just gonna
yeah. And another one was like 15% in Palm Beach County. So I mean, it's getting a lot better.
And you're right, Ross.
And even competition is so good for the consumer.
It's so much better.
It's just, I don't care if you're talking about casinos or insurance rates. The more competition, the better, and the least, the worst.
Yeah, I still need some $5 tables.
So what we're seeing is while Florida is ranked number 1 again, we are the one state, or one of the few states, I want to say, that have had these high premiums that's stabilizing now and actually reducing. And we're kind of in a stabilization phase. But there's a lot of states in the country that are going up much higher right now. Like they're going through their own sticker shock. We've already kind of been there, done that, and now we're on the downside now. But there's a lot of other parts of the country that are starting. They're feeling the squeeze we've been feeling for quite a while now.
Yeah, all the different states are feeling it because, I'm part of a couple like national insurance, insurance groups on Facebook or whatever. And, we were going through it and coming out, we started to kind of come out of it. And then all those other states and people are complaining about roof age and all the same things that we were complaining about, and how their premiums are going up and the carriers aren't offering coverage. And, we're coming out and we're like kind of getting back to, maybe 2019-ish as far as underwriting goes. Mm-hmm. But all those other states they're still going through what we did, 2 years ago.
Yeah. And for different reasons though, right? I mean, I'm sure just like,
I think there's like tornadoes and, but they're all like roof age, like a lot of, they're complaining about roofs and stuff in the middle part of the
is it a lot too. And I know you're not in these markets, but just with connections to people that are like, a lot of our issue was litigation, right? Fraud, and we had to wait for that. It took a couple of years, as you predicted. It's going to take some time, but it kind of slowed the progression down, the pain we were feeling. And then I assume once the reinsurers start feeling better about the state, then everything starts to come together. And I feel like for us, particularly, it has, right? Mm-hmm. In the other states like Colorado, is it fraud driving it?
No, I don't know. I don't,
Me neither. I don't know.
There's a lot of hail. I lived in Colorado for a number of years. They have some pretty dramatic, rapid swings of weather. So hailstorms are very, very common.
Like baseball size.
Yeah, not small hail either, right. Not little pebbles, big rocks. Yeah,
that does real damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can see that. It's interesting though. I mean, I guess every state's going to have its own issues, and it's real.
But that's not new. That's the thing. I mean, those Midwest states have always had.
Agree, but you do have Colorado experienced a massive population boom as well. So when you look in the early 2000s, there were a ton of people moving there, and like anything, you get more people, the costs of replacing one storm goes up exponentially. I think so. There's a lot of that happened.
True.
It's so funny. Chris is right on top of this thing. Chris Peterson with the Florida Home Pros is right on top of it.
Pivotal cog.
Pivotal cog in the wheel.
Writing it now.
See, Chris, welcome to the team. Now, welcome to the show. Now everybody's going to make fun of you like everybody else makes fun of everybody else.
There's your part. There's this clog right here. There's that pivotal cog.
I just checked to find out why AI says that Colorado, take it for what it's worth, why AI says Colorado and Nebraska are the new focal points of the U.S. insurance crisis. They said both states are seeing premium increases of 10 to 40%. And they're starting to get into 44,000 to 5,000 range. And it says there's two reasons for it. The number one is the rise of severe convective storms, which is the main culprit. In Colorado, it's Hail Alley. They call it Hail Alley. Hail isn't just a seasonal nuisance anymore. It's the single largest cost driver in the state. Recent data shows the hail damage accounts for 26 to 54% of Colorado's homeowners' total premium cost. So just hail is costing almost 50% of the insurance premium. Nebraska has mega storms. Historically, Nebraska would see maybe 4 multi-state storm systems causing $1 billion of damage over an entire decade. Recently, they've been hit by 4 of these mega storms in a single year. In 2024, Nebraska insurers paid out $1.36 billion in claims for $1.36 in claims for every $1 they collected in premiums. So that means they're short 36%, right? Colorado specifically is a dual catastrophe problem. They get hammered by the front range hail on one side and the devastating wildfires on the other. And then the reinsurance is the next problem. And reinsurance is the problem that they're having is the reinsurers, just like here in Florida, when we had all those hurricanes on the West Coast, they started raising the rates because there were more money that needed to be spent. So they had to get the reserves. The reinsurance wanted to make sure that they're covered.
Well, it feels like, there is a bit of a gamble in Florida. The one thing that's going to be consistent in Colorado is going to be the fires and the hail. We can go a while without getting really hit by storms, and that's when I think the reinsurers are like, we're willing to.
And I guess this is why the rest of the country. The fourth thing is why the rest of the country might be seeing increases overall. Inflation. Yeah. They said hyperinflation and rebuilding costs, and that's a very common thing, right, Ross? So that would probably greatly affect insurance. I didn't think about that. So if it costs way more money to rebuild your home, that's going to be reflected in your insurance, right?
So on your policy, you have coverages, right? Like what everything is covered for. The main one is going to be that dwelling coverage, which is what your home is actually covered for, how much money they'll give you to rebuild it. And that's a fixed number. So now there are sometimes you can add like, hey, an extra 25% to that number by endorsement or whatever, but typically that's a fixed number. So if you insure your home for $400,000 and it costs $500,000 to rebuild, the insurance company's only giving you $400. Doesn't matter, So I don't see where that kind of plays into it, but yes, if you're now doing the replacement cost estimator to figure out that number. And, last year it was 400, but this year it's 500 because of the inflationary, then your premium's going to be higher because your coverage is higher. So kind of.
So it does affect it then.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, but it affects everybody. I mean, it's like rising waters lift all boats, but the thing is, it does have an impact. So the inflation even filters into your insurance policy.
Sure.
Through those rising construction costs. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But that kind of ebbs and flows, I'm guessing, right?
In a way, you don't really see that stuff go down once it kind of goes up.
Goes up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
To rebuild
the cost to rebuild. Yeah. No, I guess steadily over your career in insurance, the replacement cost estimator is only just ticked up, huh?
Yeah, it's only ticked up. And a lot of carriers actually include what they call an inflation guard, where every single year your policy, your coverages will actually go up by 4% every year.
Interesting.
That you can keep pace with them, to keep pace with. Because there's times I see, like the other day, somebody sent me their declarations page. Their dwelling coverage was $430,000. We do a replace. I don't care what your declarations page says. I'm going to do a replacement cost estimator to figure out what the dwelling coverage should be. Ours and not doing anything crazy, just doing like, hey, here's what the house looks like. It was over $600,000. So they were short by $200,000 in coverage.
That's massive.
Yeah.
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 that's
Can you imagine if your house got flattened and you found out you're 200,000 short?
That's
a bad day.
That's a bad day.
That's a very bad day.
Yeah.
The other thing is, it says that new legislative wins. This is according to this report I'm reading, Ross, so it might be right, it might be wrong. New legislative wins effective July 1st, 2026. I know you mentioned this to me in the show to everybody, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even a month and a half, where you said this summer there might be extra savings coming up, or did you not say that? I thought you were saying. So I guess
there
the
was one
rates
thing where they
change
did
on the
away
fiscal
with-
year?
Pardon?
Do the rates change like on the fiscal year? Because I'm assuming July 1st
The
is
carriers just file rates throughout the year. There's
That's
no
what I thought.
standard like.
Yeah, so it
hey,
isn't like a set
different
time
rates.
where everything grows over.
Yeah.
It evolves over the year,
Yeah.
right? Up and down over the year.
Yeah, the carriers throughout the year will file, different, their rates at different times.
So look, if you want to save money, everybody's trying to save money right now. Everything's super expensive. Imagine if you were saving $80 a month, let alone $500 a month, right? All you have to do is go to the Florida Talk Real Estate page, say, hey, I want an insurance quote. Here's my address. It's that simple. Please leave your phone number in case Ross needs to call you. Don't just give us your email. And the reason why we ask you to do that sometimes, or my contact management system, sometimes when I send you an email, it goes into junk. You don't know it. You think I didn't respond to you. I have no way to text you or call you to say I sent this email. And then you think, oh, those guys, they didn't give me what I asked them to give me. That isn't true. We almost 99.9% of the time, not 100%, but very, very high percentage, we get back to you immediately. So if you're not seeing something, you pick up the phone and you let us know, or send another email out and say, hey, I didn't get the information. We jump on it right away.
That's it.
So we just had a person who talked to me, Michael and Mariella. Michael came to us to do something like 5 years ago to buy a home, and we couldn't get the loan done. And he found somebody else that could get the loan done and ended up buying the house. And he sent a message saying, hey, I know you guys have all these success stories, but I wasn't one of them. And it was like 5 years ago that all this happened. Did we just ignore it? No. I went back to my file. I was like, what the heck happened in this case? He got the house and everything, so it was a happy story for him. But I wanted to find out, he was calling us out, not in a mean way. He just wanted to bring it up. So if it was important to him, it was important to us. So anyway, I did the background check and, through my files and found him and all that. Then I asked Mike what was going on. And Mike explained why he couldn't get the loan at the time. And he still doesn't know how Mike was able to get the loan, but we're really glad he got one. But we even care about people who say, hey, we tried to do something 5 years ago and it didn't happen. And I don't just go, oh, well, I guess that didn't happen. I was like, hey, why didn't that happen? So we actually care about everybody that calls.
Absolutely.
I mean, we really do.
Let me ask a quick question about insurance here, real quick. Ross, if I'm wanting to get some quotes from you and I want to include automobile, I just give you my make and model. Is that?
No, we're gonna for auto insurance. We definitely need your declarations page.
Dex.
The auto insurance is very specific.
Gotcha.
With the coverages that you choose. Homeowners insurance. If we're doing your dwelling coverage at, $425 and your dwelling coverage is at $400, not a big deal. But auto insurance is very specific.
Gotcha. But just another as simple as taking a picture of the deck page.
Taking a picture of the deck page, send it over.
Send it over.
I do have one last question about insurance. Is this about the third nail? Okay. Third nail is where you have hurricane straps that tie the roof joists to the stem wall or the wall of the house. And usually they're tied in with straps depending on the age of the house. And there's I don't even want to say a new requirement, but the most updated requirement is you have to have a certain amount of nails in that strap to the structure in order to be qualified for a higher insurance discount. We just had a house, Ross, where the developer, the investor that was selling the house put on a brand new roof, but we couldn't tell if there was a third nail. The inspector for the inspection report couldn't tell if there was a third nail in there or not because we couldn't get into the attic and the soffits were all covered, so there was no way to know. Then when we were going through so they set an insurance rate without knowing about the third nail. Then when we were going through the inspection, we found out that a lot of the soffits had to be replaced. So when the contractors went out there to get rid of, pull out the soffits to replace them, my buyer went over there and took photos of the straps, and he found out that it looked like there was a third nail in them. So it looks like the developer, when they put the roof in, they put in the third nail. Thank God.
Yeah, really.
How much money would that save?
It really depends on the carrier. Some
okay.
carriers that's a significant factor, and it used to be across the board. It was a very significant rating factor, but some carriers don't rate it as hard. Some carriers do rate it very, negatively if there isn't a nail. And then also it depends on like the overall wind mitigation credit that you're getting. So I can't tell you
like a certain set amount.
But normally, it's going to be worth it to have that nail done.
Okay, cool. So he should probably go back and tell because he didn't use us for the insurance. He should go back to his insurance person and tell him about the third nail.
Well, you should go and get an updated wind mitigation report.
Yes.
That documents that roof to wall connection.
Yeah, he's going to take the photos and everything because they closed it up after they were done, of course, so we couldn't close. So he took the photos. He's going to send it to the inspector so they could reevaluate the 4-point inspection and then go from there.
Yeah.
The wind mitt.
Yeah,
the wind mitt, not the 4-point. Anyway, I wanted to talk about third nail. Thank you, Russ.
Let's go quick. July 1st.
Yes.
If a carrier wants to raise rates, they have to give like a clear explanation why.
Starting July 1st?
Yeah, like clear explanation.
Can it just say you're in Florida?
But I mean, I don't see how that helps us. We're in a declining environment right now. So, so I not how that helps us, but how that would make things less expensive moving forward now. Right. Just because we're in a declining environment.
So we're being tougher. We're being tougher on the insurance companies about raising the rates, and we've been tougher on the consumers about not ripping off the insurance companies with these fraudulent lawsuits.
Well, they've always had to. They've always had to
right
kind of like showcase their need to raise rates, right? When they couldn't just do it on their own, didn't they always have to go before the state or some board and get it approved? Isn't there some process always?
Yeah, they do have. They file their rates, but before there, you could just say, "Well, these are
it's what we want to do."
What we want to do now, they have to tell you in exactly why in plain language why they're raising your rates. Yeah.
Interesting.
Your policy too.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a break. On the flip side, we're going to talk about buying foreclosures. Is it really a great deal? And how many are out there? And is it a great deal? And is that what you should be focused on, is trying to buy foreclosures? Chris just had a couple that was seriously looking at one and had an experience. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But we're also going to kind of go into the MLS right after we get out of the break and check to see just a smattering of these foreclosures that closed and see what the original list price was, or the list price when they were selling it, and then what it actually closed for, to see what the gap is, to see if there's real value there or not. We're going to talk about that next.
All right, excellent. Good information coming your way. And of course, you're always welcome to join us toll free at 877-927-6969. Quick 4-minute break. We'll get to your phone call if you're interested. Questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. You want to be involved in the conversation at hand? Go ahead. Plenty of time remaining on this Saturday. Of course, if you're not comfortable on the radio, but you do need professional guidance, you're buying a home, you're selling a home, you are stuck with this home and you don't know what to do, or you just need something done in the world of real estate that you really require some professional guidance. I got pros, experts in their field, all one click away at floridatalkrealestate.com. On Facebook, on YouTube, consume, share, like. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of floridatalkrealestate.com. 4-minute break. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. 4 minutes. 4 minutes, Timothy?
Yes, it is.
So we can do it. We can do it twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to meet me?
Just like Chuck Willery.
Yeah. Give me that cog.
2 times 2. 2 and 2.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Come on.
The cog.
4-minute break. We're back. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
You give up trying to teach your parents how to use their smart speaker and take it home. Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. We're expecting a pleasant Saturday. Temperatures getting into the middle 80s, which is right where we should be for this time of year. A few isolated showers west of 95 this afternoon. Overall, though, conditions remain dry. It is humid, and humidity and heat will be increasing Sunday.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Hurry, offer ends 5/21. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, you got plenty of time remaining. Almost a full 40 minutes left on this Saturday. It is the 16th of May. Just making sure. Yes, it sure is. If you'd like to call in, questions, comments, concerns, if you have something you want to bring to the table, don't be shy. Jimothy will line you up. At least I believe he will. I put words right in his mouth. How are you?
Yeah, let me flip a coin. Of course we will.
Maybe.
Give us a call.
Yeah.
Keep me busy over here.
I mean, really, as if you don't got enough going on. But you're more than welcome to join us. Of course, if you're not comfortable on the radio, always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You can have access to the entire team. If you haven't shopped your insurance lately, auto, property. What else do we do, Ross? Is that it? Auto, property.
I mean, auto and property, we do, general liability for
Nice.
businesses.
There you go.
Well, your dog, your
Perfect.
pet,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
You do pet insurance?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to do that when I get home.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? All right. So there's a few things you could be shopping. If you haven't shopped it in a minute, you should.
You forgot to mention one.
What's that?
Alien abduction.
Oh, we don't sell it, but apparently it is available.
It's a thing.
And I actually just looked into it, and it's a $10 million policy. And if you do file a claim, it's paid $1 per year for 10 million years.
Wow.
An alien abduction.
But that's
policy.
okay because time travel. So-
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
So you're all right.
At that point, you're like, I'll be able to collect. Huh. That's a real thing, huh?
I guess so. Then you
Okay.
can buy it. And I guess you can buy like it's like $20. That's all it costs is $20. But for $25, you actually get like an actual embossed certificate that shows you have an alien abduction.
I'd have to pitch in the
Yeah.
extra $5
Yeah, worth it. Well worth it.
to frame my alien abduction policy.
It's a great upsell.
It is only $25. Why not?
Well, and at this point, though, are you almost begging for it? Because they're like, this guy's worth $10 million.
Yeah.
There's an incentive to
It's
him.
kind of like those
right.
fraudsters that are looking for the high insurance
Let's go.
policies.
Yeah, I'm just trying to increase my odds. You know what I'm saying? $25 to increase my odds feels pretty good. How do you let everybody know you have this if you don't have the embossed sign? Right?
Exactly.
You have to have it.
I mean, I guess
You
you
know?
could post it on Facebook.
I'm going to do all that, and then I'm going to blow it up, and I'm going to put it on the roof of my house.
With like a landing.
Yeah. Right here.
Here's
Here's
your
your
prop.
guy, 10 mil.
Big target.
Come here. Pivotal cog.
Mhm.
Johnny C, Jimothy. There's Ross Komarinetz, Brightway Insurance, Juno Bech. Cannot get you alien abduction
I
insurance,
cannot, no.
but we are interested if you can provide such service. Thank you very much.
I can put you in touch with somebody.
But again, if you haven't shopped any of the coverages that you do currently have,
He knows a guy.
you absolutely should help Ross and his team reach their goal of saving a collective $500,000.
That's right. We're only helping you.
That's it. That's it. Save you money. Add to the list.
We get a high five.
Right.
You get money in your pocket.
Perfect. That's a good trade-off, actually.
Yep.
High five. We got Chris Peterson over here. We have established Pivotal Cog as a team member of the Florida Home Pros Keller Williams Innovations. I think it's sticking at this point, but we'll see if it does last for the next time. Great to have you with us, Chris.
Glad to be here.
And of course, Jimmy D runs that top producing Keller Williams team right there, the Florida Home Pros Keller Williams Innovations. What you looking at, Jim?
I'm just trying to look at the map to see where all these foreclosures are.
Oh,
What we're going to do
you
on
say
this
all
seg-
these?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of them?
Well, the thing is, when the MLS, people think that it's just like local, but there can be listeners from all over the country in our local MLS. So, like, I'm just looking at this right now, and out of the foreclosures, one of them's listed from California. There's another one, just one in California. There's one in South Dakota that's listed on our MLS. And there's even some that are listed. There's a foreclosure in Nicaragua that's in our MLS.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So when you're searching the MLS, you put in parameters for your search. How do you include Sandy or South Dakota and California? in
Well,
your
I'm
MLS
not.
search?
So I'm doing the broad search right now with no criteria. So tell me all the foreclosures that are on this MLS.
Everything on the MLS.
Right, without saying Palm Beach County or St. Lucie or Boca Raton or
So
whatever.
you just leave it all open.
Yeah, so
Foreclosures.
all of these, now there's only a handful that are foreclosures out of state. But right now, out of 50, wait, let me take this off for a second. Out of last week, it was 57,000. Let me see what we got. Oh, wait.
57,000 foreclosures in the nation.
No, 57,000 active properties in our MLS. There were 57,000 active properties, not in foreclosure, just active properties.
Okay, because
And out of that-
feels like we're hitting a problem.
Out of that, 895 are foreclosure.
Okay, good. That's
Out
better
of 57,000. So we're only 2% of the market right now. right? It's only 2%. So, which normal market's 1 to 3%. So
Normal.
we're kind of normal market when it comes to foreclosures. But it's very common that people come to us when they're buyers and say, hey, I'd like to buy a foreclosure or a short sale because they think they're going to get these huge discounts by buying those. Chris, you just had customers that wanted to do that, right, Chris?
Yeah, I mean they weren't seeking out a foreclosed property, but it just so happened that the property that checked all of their boxes that they liked the most and happened to be in the neighborhood that checked all of their boxes that they liked the most happened to have been a bank-owned property at that point. So it had already gone through the full foreclosure process. Mm-hmm. It actually completed that back in 2024, I believe. And so, you know, we went and looked at the house and, you know, there was no power on the house. So there was no water, you know, running. So, you know, the house surprisingly, you know, looked in to be in good shape. Huh. Yeah. So the clients, they decided that they wanted to put in an offer. And so, you know, we were looking at comps in the neighborhood, obviously, and there was a nice range of prices of properties that had both gone under contract and sold in the neighborhood since the beginning of this year. So we kind of went towards the bottom third of that range, given the fact that the house had been sitting empty, and we thought, all right, you know, maybe the bank will want to negotiate with us. And so the unique thing about this situation is we had to go to a specific web portal and you attach a copy of the contract. But what you really do is you fill out fields of specific key points of the contract offer. And so you go through all of that, you click submit, and it wasn't even 60 seconds later, and I had an immediate counteroffer from the bank. I was like, that's strange.
Just automated.
It was completely instantaneous. And, you know, so we were asking for a seller concession. And so, you know, what ended up happening was they basically rejected everything. They took the seller concession that we put in there, added it on top of the list price of the property, and said, okay, we'll give you your seller concession, but we're going to increase the list price of the home the same amount. And then they, you know, cut out a number of other parameters. And I was kind of stunned a little bit, just that, you know, the whole counter proposal took literally 30 seconds. And so it really got me thinking. I'm like, this is weird. Why did that happen?
Is this an AI program that
I think it really is. What I suspect the real issue, or what was really happening, is that, you know, the way these things work is the bank, even though the bank owns the property, they sign the title over to another company that's going to basically manage the sale of the property, and then that company hires a local real estate agent for the transactional aspects of it, right? So the agent on the other side of the deal, you know, he's just like, you got to submit it through there, and he's like, you know, good luck. I've seen some deals work out well, and so what I think is happening is the bank basically the middleman that's facilitating all of this. There's a set of criteria in there for these specific parameters, and if the deal doesn't meet those parameters, it's either an automatic reject or counter proposal. So you're really not negotiating in any way, shape, or form. They just are, here's what we're willing to accept. Take it or leave it.
Yep.
Right.
At least in that program, right?
In that one, yeah. And so it you know, you start thinking about it, and logic sets in, and it's like, well, you know, let's try to talk to the agent. Well, that agent didn't return phone calls, which is, you know, annoying, number one. So that was a lost cause. And then you start thinking, you know, in the counter response that we got back to, it started listing out all of these criteria, like highlighting, this is as is. There's no negotiation on the inspection. The inspection period is for your convenience only. We will not accommodate any utilities. We will not make any accommodations for the inspection process, right? And so I think the key learning for me in all of this, and, you know, it was frustrating for my clients because they really liked this property, But they did have concerns that, if how long was the power shut off? Do we have a mold problem? Is there something that's been neglected on this property? And so essentially, they were quickly in this mindset that the property is like withering away while the bank is just sitting on their hands doing nothing with the property.
It appears that way.
Yeah. And so it got me thinking a lot more about it too. And I think if you, in the banking industry, if you look back at the history again, this started like 3 years ago, 3 years ago. And so the bank most likely took the loss wrote the property loss off, a couple of years ago. And so today their mindset is very different, where it's just like, we have this asset. We already took the loss on it on our balance sheet. Whatever we get for it now is going to be positive for us. So there's no urgency. They don't care about the person on the other side of the transaction. They're just like, hey, this is what our model says we're willing to accept right now. Take it or leave it.
Right.
And if you're willing to pay that, then great. So, the whole moral of the story is that, do what they were asking. I don't think the property was worth what they were asking. I think there was some wiggle room there, but they were a unactive participant in the transaction.
Did you mess with the numbers to the point where it did finally get accepted just to see what it took?
No, I didn't. I thought about doing that, but there's a lot of other language in there on fees that you got to pay and stuff like that. So, we probably could, finagle it a little bit and see what happens.
Just for the
Yeah.
number, just for curiosity's sake.
Yeah.
So we're in a buyer's market. Chris, this is a buyer's market, or at least it leans to that side. The stats all indicate buyer's market. You think of a bank-owned home since 2024 when they finally cleared it all, they'd have a little bit of motivation to offload this thing. And again, we already wrote off the losses on the home. It doesn't feel right to me. They're not competitive at all. That feels like a home that's going to be sitting around for a while, especially just looking at our market right now.
There's probably another dynamic too. The middleman probably isn't helping things either, because, this is, I guess, if you think of a lot of like debt collectors and stuff like that, they buy distressed debt for pennies on the dollar, and they're going to work really hard to get as much money as they can because it puts more money in their pockets. So there could be an incentive by the middleman to not be in a hurry either, because why would they just want to? Because everything that they're going to give up on the sale of that property is going to be less profit in their pockets.
True.
So you have the bank side of it who already specifies what their loss threshold is or what their price threshold is, and then you got the middleman who's like, okay, we know we're going to get this from the bank, so we want to make more. So how do we capitalize and maximize our profit in the deal? So you're really negotiating against two entities: A, number one, that do not care about the consumer in any way, shape, or form, and B, they're motivated to make as much money as possible.
So it feels like the mentality of the buyer that's like, I want to get a short sale or a foreclosure. And again, they want to spend the least on their home, the purchase of their home as possible. I think that's the mindset of everybody, right? That's why
logically, yeah.
That's why you hire a pro to negotiate and get you in the best deal possible. But that marketplace where the short sales were so prevalent and the foreclosures were so prevalent, that's what made them the quote unquote steal, that real advantage. They don't exist to the point where that's now the cheap deal. Right. Because there's not enough in the marketplace. Right. That's kind of what we're dealing with. The bank's going, take it or leave it. We're not sitting on a ton of distressed homes. We're not in a mode where we have to offload this.
Yep.
So you really, as a buyer, need to shift your mentality, unfortunately. And that's too bad that didn't work out for them.
Yeah, it was a tough couple. It was a rocky couple days, but it's we moved on. So we're pursuing other properties now, which is totally fine.
Is that common when you're dealing with a foreclosure that you have to go through an automated system and just get a immediate response, or you dealing with an actual agent?
Back when we were doing them and it was 4 out of 10 deals were foreclosures or short sales, the banks were much more willing to work with you, but it was
This is like 06 through
well, for us,
09,
for
04
for
through-
us, to me, was more like because 06 they were so at the beginning, it was a complete mess,
more like
and they
08.
didn't know how to handle it. They were totally overwhelmed. So let's just say from our show from 2012 to 2014, that's when they kind of got their stuff together because they just started creating systems on how to deal with it.
So
there's
we were
of
really in the thick of it at that point.
yeah, and there's a couple other things that people don't understand. When they say the banks, sometimes it isn't a bank at all, even though it says real estate owned. What it means, whoever had the note
That's what Chris
has
was
the
talking
mon-
about, yeah.
has the property back.
Right.
So sometimes it isn't Bank of America or Wells Fargo that owns the loan. Because if they were turned into mortgage-backed securities, the person that owns the loan are people like private investment groups, right? And then they hire servicers, which are the middlemen, to actually go through the foreclosure process. And they hire somebody who said, hey, I don't want to deal with this foreclosure. They haven't made my
You deal
payment.
with it.
You deal with it,
Yeah.
right? And then they get charged a fee to do that. And so it's a lot of the ones that are done today, though. I don't know if they're mostly bank owned, like actually bank owned, because a lot of the conforming mortgages are sold on the open market.
Right.
So we don't really know who owns the note. Just like back in the day, it's very hard to tell. But they do have their systems. They feel like they're a lot stronger. So what I wanted to do, I picked out 4 properties right now that I thought we'd go through to see if people got a deal or didn't get a deal compared to what the house was listed for to what it closed at. Okay, in a couple of different areas and different price points. So let's take a look at this. So if we go, I'm going to start for the least expensive. I have 2. I'm doing stuff in Palm Beach County and Port St. Lucie because I feel like that's a good flavor for all 6 counties in the area.
Sure.
So in Port St. Lucie, there was a single family home, and they had it on the market for $174,900. It was a 1,600 square foot home under air, so that's a decent sized home. Now this was wood frame, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and they originally put it on the market
74.
for $174,900. Okay, and it was on the market for 94 days before it closed, or before it went under contract. So they started out at $174,900, and then over time they dropped it. Over that 94 days, they dropped it to $159,900. So the person that bought it, the list price was $159,900. So I'm going to do a question to you guys. What do you think it sold for? So it started at $175,000. They dropped it to $160,000. What do you think it closed for?
It was a foreclosure?
Yeah, we're only talking foreclosures right now.
I'm going to say 157.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah.
55.
I was thinking about 140. Drop it.
152. So there was a $7,000 drop from the original list price. Now, would you mind pulling out the computer? 7 divided by 152.
Carry the 1.
Yeah, I know. You guys are too
I gotta
slow.
get
You're
my
too
phone.
slow. Hold on. Let me do it. I'm good.
A lot of
Okay,
ways.
hold on.
Sorry about that.
7 divided by 152. That is 4.6%. Okay, so they had a 4.6 from list price, the list price that it was listed at, to what they actually closed at. What's the regional average right now for homes? About 94% of the list price.
Oh, it's gone down a
So
little
this
bit.
is, yeah, and some areas it's 91% now,
Ooh.
Johnny. But you
What's
just figure
your sense? What's your sense?
94%.
We're closer to like 97, 98%, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, much higher than
Yeah.
that. I just saw one for 103,
Come on.
103%. You
Yeah,
gotta love
that's
it.
why we say you go to people that are great at what they do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Or you can make money on the
so
table.
4.6 is right in like a regular sale. That's not
Is
different than a regular
Is
sale.
that a deal? Not a stellar deal. It's
Well,
a deal.
still a
but
deal.
It's still a deal, but yeah.
And
Yeah.
compared to what they listed originally, right? 174.
So that right.
But they didn't even get any action until they brought
Right,
it down.
until they dropped it to the
Right.
right price. You're going to see a trend here,
Yeah.
right? Johnny
Yeah.
picked it up right away. He smelt it right away. So now we're going to do a condo. That was a single family home in Port St. Lucie. Now we're going to look at a condo that was about the same price in Delray, okay? So this condo in Delray, they originally started out at 250. Okay. They were on the market 332 days. Okay. And the final list price before it went under contract was $182,250. So that was a $70,000 drop from the original list price. But what did it close at 182,250? What did it close at?
178.
130.
75.
I'll say 180.
This one, there was a little bit of a deal. They got 160 out of 182, so that's a $22,000 drop. So you do 22 divided by 182, 12%. So that was a significant drop, and that's not from the original list price. That's from the list price when they dropped it all the way down.
Right, well, the one where they actually started getting a little extra.
Right.
That was also almost a full year on market
It was a
too.
full
So
year.
you're probably getting a little more motivated.
Yes, and it also was a condo, and I think the condos are going to be way worse off. The condos, and it's so funny with these foreclosure agents because they're being told by the servicer what to do. The foreclosure agents, usually the agents listing the foreclosures, they're just widgets usually. And they're just being told by the servicer exactly what to do and how to handle the property and everything. There's not a lot involved. And then they actually have to kind of fight with the servicer sometimes saying, hey, you're way off. I could imagine if this 250 was on the market 332 days. I don't know why this agent would want this property.
Oh,
they got to carry it during that time.
Yeah.
Usually they have to pay the carry costs. They got to pay the electricity bill. To keep the electric on and stuff like that. If you got a pool home, you're the one that's covering the pool and dealing with that and cutting the lawn, and you're paying for all that.
Well,
and then the bank will pay you back when it closes.
Scenario, they're like, just turn it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't need power.
But anyway, so that was a pretty big drop, but that was a condo. Now let's look at another home, a little bit higher priced in Port St. Lucie. The house was originally listed for $249. It sold in 16 days. Okay, it was originally listed at $249, and they didn't change the price. And listen to this one, $249,971. That's how they priced it, right? That tells me a computer came up with that number, like an AI thing or something, or an algorithm for it, or somebody just feels like they're lucky in the bank department. But $249,971. What do you think this one sold for? $250 basically. So what do you think it sold for?
In
16 days.
16 days.
That fast? I gotta say it's about 248, 247.
Yeah, it feels like one that kind of is like one of these systems that Chris
It's
was
within
talking
that
about.
couple
Yeah,
percent.
so it's got to be right in that zone. So yeah, 240.
240, 273.
245. Somewhere right down there.
You should be on Price Right, Ross, but you would have lost on this one. 260. So it was on the market for 249, and it went up 11 grand.
So they
Okay, so it went 11,000 higher because they priced it correctly.
Yeah.
So people saw value and it sold it in very fast. That's what this market needs. If you're selling your house, there's teachable moments here.
That shows you
You
that a
price
couple
it
people are interested in that home for
You
sure.
price it correctly, you're going to have a bidding war. I'm sure this had a bidding war in 16 days, and then they got a higher price than the list price. Or you could be the moron, like the bank that was selling the condo, had it at 250, it closes at 160, and it took them a whole year to figure out, hey, I think we're overpriced.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And go through all that pain for a year. Carrying that house for a year for no reason. Now, here's another one, Lake Worth. This property, which was originally listed at $494, it was on the market for 139 days. So what do you think it closed for? It went from $494 and they dropped it 60 grand to $434 before it went under contract. But once they set it for $434, what did it close at?
bet it closed quickly around 440.
Yeah, so I was going to say the same. So all prices right
440?
439.
Yep.
I was 440.
Yeah.
439, ding, 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 439 flat, which is actually $5,000 above the list price.
Priced right.
So once they set the price right, it took them 139 days to figure out the right price. Thank you, bank. And they're banks, right? They're friggin' banks that appraise houses all day long, and they can't set their own price right. It's kind of like when Zillow and Redfin got into the real estate market to buy houses and they lost all that money.
Yeah.
It's like, you're freaking Zillow. How could you be wrong about this, right? But they didn't.
So wrong. Not just a little wrong either. How could you be so wrong?
It was so wrong. They lost, some of them lost over $1 billion. Remember that?
Brutal.
So anyway, what the teachable moment is here is that sometimes you can get a deal. The condos, the banks are more likely to work with you. I think on the condos, that's my opinion. Check this out. The lowest foreclosure sold in the last year, $155, and it just closed. It just closed March 12th of this year.
I might have picked that up for
$155.
150. I thought it was a mistake. I just looked at it. It's totally legit. 130. It was on the market for 132 days. They started out at 162.5.
Wow.
And they sold it for $155,000. And the unit looks good. The unit looks really, really good. So what that tells me, older community. I know this community. This building is ancient. It's right in front of Lake Osborne. You ever drive? Pretty sure it's Malaluca. If you go on 6th Avenue South and you go east off the 95, west off the 95 exit and Lake Osborne, if you're looking on the right-hand side, there's a bunch of old condos right before you get to Lake Osborne. I think that's where this building is. That building's ancient. I'm sure they're going to have major, they still got jealousy windows there. I think it's major structural integrity or reserve issues that they have high assessments. So the bank probably just said, I don't want this property anymore. Just sell it what you can.
take it.
So the lowest sale in our area, well, Palm Beach and St. Lucie counties, $155 in the last year. The condo sold for $155. We don't know how big the assessment is. Now, the second lowest sale, oh, wait, I think I'm wrong about this. Hold on. The second lowest sale is pretty stunning, too. Hold on here.
Remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com if you needed to pros, experts in their field, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Oh, the second lowest sale is still pretty surprising. It's in Boynton Beach. It's a condo. It is a 2-2. It's a pretty big condo, almost 1,500 under air. They started out at 14,900. It took them 100 days to sell. Even at 14,900, this house took 100 days to sell, 100 flat. What did it sell for? They were asking 14.9.
100 days, 10 grand. 12.
4,000.
Wow.
So that's the second lowest, and they started out at 14.9.
They took a little haircut.
Yeah, so they took a 60% drop on 14,000. You could buy can you even buy a cheap car for $4,000? I know you can. I'm joking,
you
but
can.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying. But anyway, that was. And can you believe it was a cash deal?
Huh.
It was cash, baby. I got $4,000 cash. Give me the house.
That
I'm sure this
155
has.
was the finance.
I'm sure this has. I'm sure this. Oh yeah, here it says it's a mandatory one-time membership fee of $105,000.
Yeah.
You got to pay $1,000 capital contribution, and the bank's charging you $2,000 for a processing fee. That's the other thing that's happening with these foreclosures. They're taking all their costs or a lot of their costs and throwing it on the back of the buyer.
Huh.
So they're saying, hey, you're going to pay us, not only are you going to pay the price for the house, but not only are you going to do that, but you're going to give us a $2,000 processing fee, or we're going to want a $1,000 processing fee. And they're non-negotiable, right?
If you want this property,
they act like it's non-negotiable. If they're weak, it becomes negotiable.
right.
But, banks are designed, usually, I gave you a couple like really cheap ones to show you that they're there, but there were like two. But there's 895 sales, and we just looked at 4 of them, and some sold significantly higher, and some sold significantly lower. So it just depends on what the bank's business model and what their situation is. And when I say the bank, I mean the lender. I should call it the lender. Whoever the owner of the note is. They kind of decide what they're going to do. Now, Chris had a good perspective he talked to me about, which jog my memory from when I was doing short sales and bank foreclosures, about how the bank writes off the debt. Could you just go about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I think on a quarterly basis, financial accounting practices, companies have losses and gains, all throughout the year. So your accountants or the accountants or CFO for the company ultimately will make a decision whether they're if they're having a good quarter of strong earnings, they might decide to write off some of the bad debt that they have because it's, hey, this is a good time. We got a little extra earnings this quarter. Let's get rid of this. Let's write off this debt over here. So it's no longer on our balance sheets. And then what happens is they still have the asset. They still own the asset, but they've taken care of the loss associated to the asset on the balance sheet. So now fast forward 6-12 months later, it's like, oh, hey, if we get X number of dollars for this asset over here, that gives us, 2 cents per share earning or whatever it is, right? So they will pivot from writing it off as a loss and then turning it around into how can we make more earnings on this asset that we just have sitting there. So their motivation changes from just getting rid of the asset to now I want to monetize this asset because it'll help me make my financials look stronger.
It makes perfect sense. It really does. Yeah.
And their banks,
timing's everything for them.
Right.
Right?
And their banks, they want to make money, right? So they're not just screaming in the night because they have a foreclosure on their books. That's part of the business of being a bank and lends money on loans. And we just showed you that the foreclosure rate is not really out of control. In fact, it's right in the sweet spot of the norm, if you want to call something a sweet spot on that.
Right.
Right. But it's right there. So don't think that just because you're trying to get a deal that the banks are just going to take get creamed on it and they're going to walk away. They're banks. They usually will have an idea of what's going on in the neighborhood. Although when they price it, they're doing the same thing a lot of unrealistic sellers do. Let's ask $250. Okay, we'll take $139. Right? It's like, come on, what the hell? You shouldn't be doing that. Let's go ahead and switch over to affordable housing. I think this is kind of interesting. When I saw this chart, I'm looking at a chart from Visual Capitalist. And what they did is they mapped where the housing takes the biggest share of your income. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure that this means.
Is this home ownership?
Yes, I'm trying to see if it's actually home ownership or just housing.
Because I was reading, again, about Florida and the rental market, how we're number one or the worst, depending on how you look at it. And they said it's now 39% of your income reps up the Florida rental market.
Yeah, that would probably be about right for the rental market because we've been saying for years now that they call Miami the worst rental market in the country, not New York, right? Because you think of how high New York rates are. Per capita, Miami is. But when they say Miami, a lot of times people don't understand this. They mean the Miami metropolitan area, right, which is Miami, Broward, Dade. So that whole region, we're always, for many, many years, we've been the worst rental market. This is for home ownership. So out of the 50 states, where do you think the most expensive home ownership is? And it would kind of make sense if you think about it.
Probably New York.
Okay.
Or California.
Yeah, it's one of those two, right?
Yeah.
See, you got to, Hawaii is always most expensive in almost everything.
That would have been my
so
second
far away,
guess.
it's landlocked and everything. So Hawaii, 50.02% of the median monthly household income is used for housing, 50.2%.
That's rough.
So that's number one. There are 50 states in the country, as far as I remember.
That's why they eat so much spam. They have
if we don't count
PB&Js aren't here.
If we don't count Cuba, we've got 50 states. Cuba's coming.
It's coming.
Right, it's
yeah.
coming.
Yeah, it's next.
Right. So Hawaii is the number one. Where do you think Florida ranks out of the 50 states? That's what I thought was interesting.
For most expensive, I would say.
For most expensive.
Percentage of your income.
8, 10, or I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You're thinking 8 through 10, somewhere around the 8, 9,
as
or
far
10?
as the most expensive.
Yeah, out of the 50 states. So Hawaii's ranked number one. Where do you think Florida ranks out of the 50?
5. Yeah,
I was going to say 5 to 7.
Yeah, see,
somewhere
that's
around
what
there.
I thought. I thought it was going to be way up there, 13.
13th.
right? I mean, it's still in the top third, right? But it isn't in the top 10.
What's
Well,
our? So I always think Palm Beach County though, right? So I think Miami, Broward, because that's where we live, right? What's our statewide median?
So the statewide median is 29.16.
No, for cost of for a home.
It's a
in Palm Beach County?
No. So I always think Palm Beach County. So I think we're top
that's
5
a
because I'm
good
thinking
question.
640,000 for a home.
I would say that it's a good question, Johnny. I think it's in the
I
fours.
think it's in the low fours. I feel like it's around
the low
443
fours for
or
the whole
something
state.
like that.
So if I frame it more like that, I'm thinking more like homes are on median is like 600,000, 630.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
Palm
Then we
Beach
would
County-
probably have a much higher percentage.
if you told me frame it more like 440, I would have guessed. I don't know if I'd have gone to 13.
Yeah.
I probably would have gone to 10.
So we're 29.16% of our median monthly housing income goes to housing. So here are where the states, and you guys pick some of the states that were high, it would make sense. California's number 2, 43%. Massachusetts is higher than us, 33.67. This is a stunner. Oregon is more expensive than us per median income, 33.56%. Washington State is more expensive than us, 33%. Colorado, 32%. Nevada, 32%. Idaho, who would have thought Idaho would be more expensive household income than us?
That one's surprising.
So actually, that's
30%.
that's the start. What I think of the Pacific Northwest, that's kind of like I include them.
Do you think? Yeah. Do you think it's because of the income out there? That's what I'm thinking. It has to be the income. I don't think Oregon's that expensive to live, or Idaho.
I think a lot of people have moved out there and driven the price up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Montana, Idaho. Then comes number 9 is Montana. Number 10 is New York. New York is only 10, right? And New York comes in at 30.41. Now we're 29.16, so we're basically almost like New York.
But I guess you got to think like when we think New York, we think like
City.
yeah, like what 10 square or whatever, 60 square miles, whatever it is. Right. But there's a whole lot of other land in New York that
upstate will bring that average way down, or the median.
Sure. Well, Oregon has the opposite effect of that because the population is heavily concentrated in like the Portland area along the western side. The rest of the state is woods. Yeah, it's mountains. Yeah. It's sparsely populated, and then you have pockets of very expensive areas.
So it's still that because I moved from there in 1974 from Oregon, and I lived in Eugene area.
Yep.
So it's still like that. It really hasn't grown that much, maybe.
I mean, it's grown, but the little pockets have gotten bigger, and as they've gotten bigger, they've gotten more expensive. At least that's what it was when I lived out in that area. Sure. Yeah.
So the states that are relatively affordable: Iowa, West Virginia, Kansas. They have the lowest amount. So let's look at that. Iowa, about 17% of your income.
That's great.
Which is well within the affordability zone because they usually the old standard, if you will, or people talked about is that you want your rent or your mortgage payment to be about no more than 25% of your income.
So in Florida, it's 29% for homeownership. It's 39% of your income if you're a renter. It really shows you the motivation to try to become a homeowner. I wonder if it's the same in Iowa. If it's more expensive to be a renter than it is to be a homeowner when it's only 17% of your income.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't know.
Or if all states have that kind of same effect.
Gap,
It's considerably more expensive to be a renter in Florida.
And you get appreciation over time.
That's right. Yeah, you could be sitting on equity. Yeah, earning it all the time.
Well, I hear the music.
What does that mean? That means, unfortunately, we're done on a Saturday. I saw Greek walking around, so I guess we're getting ready to squeeze out a sports show. I hope you're planning on sticking around. And thank you for being with us on a Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate will return next Saturday. And, of course, if you are looking to buy a home, sell a home, if you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, maybe you inherited a home. I mean, there's lots of scenarios. Every situation is like a snowflake, unique. And you need professional guidance. You really do. Options is important. And you get all that. And if you need this professional guidance, remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. If you're on Facebook, get over there. Give a like, give a share. On YouTube, consume away. Lots to consume. Chunk videos galore. Lots of information to consume. But when you need pros, vet this team. This is a team of pros that work seamlessly together. You find them all. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. A click away. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Like Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance Juno Bech. Thanks for everything always, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you. I hope you do the same.
And let's try to help Ross and his team meet their goal of saving you a ton of money.
Yes.
Right.
Have you shopped your policies lately? I don't care which one it is. Shop them. It's simple. What are you doing?
I'm
You know,
getting the
it's
alien
free.
insurance.
You don't like saving money?
It's free.
Oh, yeah, it ain't going to cost you anything.
Nope.
I'm adding the alien insurance on my policy.
Me too. Chris Peterson, the pivotal cog of the Florida Home Pros team. Thanks for being with us on a Saturday.
Glad to be here, guys.
Have a great weekend. And Jimmy D, there's Jim DePola, the leader of not only our show, but the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Divisions. Have a great weekend.
Happy South Florida, everybody.
Oh, we got it in. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. 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 We'll see you next Saturday. Timothy, have an awesome weekend.
You as well. Have a great weekend, guys.
Appreciate all your efforts. Thanks for being with us. We'll do it again next Saturday. Have a great weekend. Stick around. Locker Room's next, right here on Real Radio.